Hi, today we're here with Veronika Kolesnikova, a senior software engineer at Microsoft, passionate about backend web development, mainly with Microsoft technologies. And she can tell you all about it. She's also a hackathon volunteer and a public speaker, and she's curious about mobile. And Veronika, how did you start? How did you get into this? How did you
Hi,
like this?
hi, Lauren. Yeah, there's a little note there. I am not working for Microsoft. I am a senior software engineer at Liberty Mutual in
Okay.
Boston.
Did you
Yeah,
used to work at Microsoft?
no, never. I'm a Microsoft
Ah,
MVP.
oh, an MVP, what does that mean?
So it is a special award which is renewed every year. It is basically Microsoft Most Valuable Professional. They have
Ooh,
different categories there, and my category is AI, artificial intelligence.
cool. And so you work with them or you work with Microsoft products.
Yeah, I work with Microsoft products. I am promoting the AI tools that Microsoft develops and working with the product groups from Microsoft because since they awarded me with that amazing award,
That's
now they
amazing.
kind of stuck with me, so I can ask them some questions, and they
Nice.
have calls and educational sessions specifically for MVPs. So it's really cool.
But you are a senior software engineer
Yes, I am.
and you do that for Liberty.
Yes.
And what does Liberty do?
So Liberty Mutual, it's an insurance company, international insurance company. Mostly, they are focusing on personal insurance. At least my team is working for personal insurance side, so cars and property. And I think recently they introduced insurance for pets.
Ooh.
But I don't know all the products that we have because we have so many, and I'm just working on a tiny part there.
So how does your AI skills come into working there? How do you use them?
So AI is my hobby. I'm not doing it professionally. I'm doing it
Oh,
on the side.
okay. So this is even more fun for our viewers. They'll like this. And so what are you doing on the side? What are you doing with it?
Yeah, so for AI, I'm just trying to learn more about tools and application of those tools. Since I don't have a background in machine learning, I don't have PhD in data science. I'm just trying to figure out how artificial intelligence can be applied and be used by developers. Like
Ah,
myself, what tools are more helpful, how some technologies are being applicable for different kinds of applications, whether mobile applications or web applications. And then once I learn it, I am eager to share my knowledge with other people. So I am presenting at different conferences virtually and in person, and also record some videos. I
wow.
started writing a blog, but my
Wow.
blogging is a little behind, but I'll get back to it.
What is the name of your, I mean, what's the name or the URL of your blog?
It is veronica.dev.
Okay. And you just give tips and things?
Yeah, so when I find something interesting that I want to share, but I don't want to record the whole video, or I guess when it's a little longer than a tweet or a post on LinkedIn, but shorter than the whole hour session, then I post it in my blog.
Cool. And I'm guessing you like robots.
I do. I think they're pretty cool. They're cool and scary at the same time. living in Massachusetts, I have so many benefits of seeing all those amazing companies who develop all kinds of robots. iRobot here with their more home-focused robots, and also Boston Dynamics. I'm a huge fan of them, although it is a little scary, and they resemble so much of those anti-utopian novels and videos. So it's a little scary, but at the same time, it's cool how many things those robots can do.
To help us with our panel next week, our webinar on chatbots, what if someone asked you what's the difference between a chatbot and a robot, what would you say?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like robot can do so many different things, and chatbot is just a tiny application, just one function of it. Because going back to robots that Boston Dynamics, they're working on them, they're creating them. They don't have that option. They don't have the option to chat. But there are lots of other robots who are only focused on that conversational part.
And next week, we're going to have a chatbot as a panelist, but I think the chatbot is going to be a kiosk, like a person in a kiosk. Have you ever seen that? Like like you go into a store and there's someone talking, but it's like inside of a kiosk, a stationary thing.
Yeah, I've seen it online.
Yeah.
So it will be really interesting to actually participate in the same panel with a tool like that.
Yeah, it's a tool. That's right. I never thought of it that way, but yeah, it totally is. So you came from Russia. Did you come out here to study, or how did you come out here for something else?
Yeah, so initially I came for work, and after a year of work, I realized that it would be really beneficial for me to get American education. So I went to grad school, got my master's in information technology, and after that, I just rejoined the workforce.
Oh, so how long have you been out of school now?
Oh, I finished in 2016, so it's gonna be 5 years this year.
So
No,
you're
6 years.
basically, yeah, so you're an experienced workplace person now.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to do what you're doing, wanted to get a job, let's say an insurance company, which is probably a great job because it's probably steady and a lot of money, and you probably have a lot of resources. What would you suggest they do? How they're in high school, they're graduating, they want to get into what you're doing. What would you say the path would be?
I recommend trying things. In my company, we have lots of opportunity for interns, whether those are just interns for summer or they are all year round, more like full time. So it's when you are in school, I feel like you have so many options, and it's a good way to try what you actually like. I know AI is a cool thing, but it's not for everyone, and it's not like a bad thing. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people good at something specific, some people good at different things. So don't be focused on just one thing and one thing only. I think school is a great opportunity to explore the wide variety of things, try different companies, check different internships, different technologies, different areas, and it's so cool. And then when you pick the right path for you, just follow your dreams. Check with community, check with your peers and teammates, and always learn, because technology is changing every day. So learning never stops here.
So you say check with community. So how do you tell them to go about checking with community? When people ask me that, I always say, oh, you should join Meetup because there's billions of meetups and you can find people there. What ways do you connect with community? Through your blog, maybe?
Yeah, so usually when I hear check with community, I also think about meetups.
Yeah.
That's how I started checking with the community. I started public speaking. First, I was just going to different meetups, trying to learn what people are doing, introduce myself, maybe find some cool projects. And then later, I got pushed into public speaking. That was one of my biggest fears, and it got a little easier with time. Yeah.
When you came to the US, did you speak American fluently? Did you speak English fluently?
I spoke it okay. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So it wasn't the fear of the language that had you that you were fearful, as it was just getting up in front of people.
Yeah, so fear of language, yeah, that's always a little challenge, because I'm always cautious what other people think of my accent, or if they can understand what I'm saying. My English is not 100% perfect. I'm trying to speak at my best, but sometimes still, it's not my first language, so there are some words that are tricky for me. So that
You
was
did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying my best. Yeah, so that was part of the fear. And then also fear of, coming face to face with other people that you don't know and trying to teach them something. I'm like, what can I teach them? What can I show?
Right.
And then what if they don't like it? What if they're like, oh, who are you, like, why are you trying to teach me? But when I did for the first time, people were so supportive. They asked good questions. That was great. I had that great feeling that I can actually bring some value to the community, and that's how I started public speaking.
That's great. So, what would be like the hardest thing you had to overcome a challenge with? Like, is there some problem that you dealt with that you had to overcome and you figured out how to do it in work or in life?
Yeah, I think public speaking is a good
That was
example.
your challenge. Cool.
That was the challenge. Yeah. It's not something that I was planning to do. As I mentioned before, I was pretty much pushed into that.
Right.
But I'm happy that I had good mentors and I had people who actually supported me and lead me, guide me through the public speaking challenges.
So you're saying it's a good idea to push yourself,
Yeah.
and that'll probably help you in business too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. Well, thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you in our panel next week.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I'll be joining you.
Great. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.